So there aren't that many flip phones on the market right now, so it makes it very easy to pick which one you're gonna go for. And the last time I checked, the Razr 60 Ultra or the Razr series were beating the Flip series, in my opinion. But now we have the new Z Flip 7, and maybe this can take the crown and redeem itself. Let's have a look. Starting with the design, we see a significant update since its launched back in 2020. We have a bigger cover display. It's now 4.1 inch display. That's up from 3.4 inch that we had before. It looks modern and it just stretches across the screen, so it looks really good. When you open it up, we have a 6.9 inch display. This is up from 6.7 that we had before, and the crease as well is near enough invisible. The only time you really see it is when you start shining it against the light, as you can see there. So you can sort of see it there, but otherwise it's pretty much invisible. Also, the hinge is also been updated as well. So it's now really nice and robust. So that way you can open and close it as much as you want without having to worry about anything. In fact, you can even do this and not worry about breaking anything. So that's a big bonus there. So again, just a lot of updates has been done there to make sure that this is looking good, more robust, and it's just a significant update. What I also love is when it folds completely flat, so there's no gap between the two displays. So I think that's a bonus as well. It just adds to that modern look as well. So that's a lot of improvement from back in 2020. Over on the black, we get Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2. So this is nice and safe for moving around your pocket, putting in your purse, your bag, whatever it is. It's just nice. So that way it won't scratch very easily over time. So it's going to remain looking really good. This is available in jet black, coral red, and this blue shadow color, which is my favorite one. And this is IP48 rated, which means 1.5 meter of submersion in fresh water. More on the outer display. This is 948 by 1048 and 120 hertz ready, and also 2600 nits of peak brightness. And of course, this is also AMOLED display. One of the things you notice as well is the camera kind of blocks the display. So in some scenarios, it might block the actual function or whatever you're trying to view. So for example, if I went on Instagram here, you can see that it blocks some of the options here, but thanks to that good luck widget, there's an option here to actually move that slightly up. So that way you can still view and see some of the stuff that's on there. So not too bad at all. But obviously it just limits the amount of screen real estate that's been used on that outer display. It would have been nice to be able to use the whole thing without having to worry about that googly eyes camera that's on the front or the back there. When we open it up, we get a full HD plus display. So we're talking 1080 by 2520. It's AMOLED 2X and also 783 nits peak brightness, thereabouts, 120 hertz refresh. And the only issue that I've got here is you don't get LTPO technology. So you can't go all the way down to 1 hertz. You're stuck with two options, which means you either go 60 hertz or you go 120 hertz completely. When it comes to the performance, we get Exynos 2500 processor in there. So this is 3 nanometers process technology, but it's not as powerful as Snapdragon 8 Elite. But that's not to worry, because that's just more for people that like to number crunch and look at your Geekbench scores. But if you're not worried about all those things, this thing functions really well. Performance is no issues at all when it comes to gaming. It handles it like no other. It just works really well. You get 12 gigabytes of RAM and also 512 gigabytes of internal storage. And you get One UI 8 and 7 years of OS update. One thing that's also been updated when it comes to that software is when I get Now Brief here as well. And also you can use Gemini Live right on that front cover as well. And also you can connect this to DeX externally as well. So this is the first flip from Samsung that allows you to do that, which is pretty cool, which means you can go from this tiny little device to having a full-blown desktop experience with no issues. For the camera, we get 50 megapixel f1.8 main camera, 12 megapixel f2.2 ultra wide, and 10 megapixel f2.2 for the selfie camera right up top there. So you get a good mix of different camera capabilities. We'll talk about how that performs in a while. For the battery, we get 4,300 mAh battery, which is up from 4,000 mAh battery that we had previously. You get 25 watts charging, 15 watts wireless, and 5 watt reverse. That reverse is basically useless, but you can use it to charge things like your earbuds, which can be useful. But in terms of charging other smartphones, that's probably not a good idea. So there you have it in terms of the features and some of the updates and what you can expect if you're looking to buy one of these. What are the qualms I had with it? First of all, the power button I feel like is too high up. So one thing I always find myself doing is reaching for where the hinge is, whereas the actual power button is just above that. So that can be an issue. But if you have it folded up, it's easy to reach that with no issues at all. It's just when it's open wide, that's when you start to notice that the power button is actually quite high up. Another thing is that slow charging, 25 watts wide charging in this day and age. should not be a thing. It should be much faster than that. So that's a shame. And also battery life on this is a bit of hit or miss. Some days I'm getting a good battery life, some days I'm not. It's still learning some of the ways that I use the smartphone, but generally it doesn't last me the whole day. But if I use it slightly less and put power saving on, then I can rely on this to last me the whole day. But if I don't have power saving mode on, then I have to worry about charging this again in the middle of the day. So overall, as far as design goes, I think it looks fantastic. The display is nice and crisp, it's sharp, it's also vibrant as well and bright, both on the outside and on the inside. I love what they've done there. It looks really good whether you're watching movies, whether you're gaming. The refresh rate is good for gaming as well. Shame about the LTPO, but it's still there in terms of the refresh from 60 or 120 Hertz. As long as we get that 120 Hertz, I'm happy with that. The Razr 60 Ultra, I think it's the 60 Ultra, has 165 Hertz, but not many apps support that anyway, so I wouldn't worry about that in terms of comparing them. So how about the photography? Well, when it comes to photography, I think it does a really good job at capturing photos on the go. So for example, low light photography looks really good, or shall I say artificial lighting in this scenario. There's no problems there at all with the main camera. Ultra wide, not so much, but in normal lighting condition, the ultra wide works really well. The main camera looks really good in terms of the highlights, the dynamic range. I think it's fantastic. You won't have to stress about that at all. Whether it's video, whether it's photos, I think it works a treat. The only issue I have here is the zoom lens. Obviously, we don't get a telephoto camera, so there's a lot of computational photography going on here. So when you start to go to 10x, for example, it just loses a lot of detail. You can see where it's trying to compensate with the computational photography, and things just look off. It's just not the one. But if you're not too worried about shooting zoom images or telephoto images, then you'll be fine. 1x is great. Ultra wide is good. 2x and 3x. Anything above 3x and maybe 4x, you start to notice where it's computational photography, it's compensating and all that kind of stuff. It's not the one. But apart from that, though, I think it's a great smartphone, and it's something I'll probably opt for instead of the Fold, because this battery lasts just a bit more than the Fold. But this is fantastic, and it offers you so many Galaxy AI features, Google Gemini Live as well, and you can use the camera in many ways. For example, you can fold it that way and position in different ways to get creative when it comes to photography. So it's fantastic and really good all-rounder. So that's my main conclusion after using this for a while. Well, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any questions, drop them there as well. Would you get one of these? If you got one already, what are you experiencing? What are your view on this so far? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.